Hey there folks, hope you're doing good today. Now I've had all sorts on the channel this week, hardcore, death, progressive, experimental, and today we're going to chill it down a little bit with some hard rock, heavy metal, and all sorts. So progressive again, I think we got some melodic stuff in there as well. So we're going to check it out. We got all sorts going on. The first band we're going to look at is called Hyper Squirrel Productions, and this one's called Dreamwake. It's a guitar playthrough, so let's see what they got. Got a nice Les Paul by the looks of things. Let's turn it up a little bit. Nice guitar tone though. Got the delay and reverb on there. Nice. Drums sound good, cymbals sound good. Yeah. Good washy sound. And that extra guitar adds width as well. So yeah, these guys are quite atmospheric. Good drumming. Cool. It's got a few things going on in the vocal then. Nice. Great drumming, and the drums sound very nice, so it's adding a nice, really nice, the drums sound really nice in the mix is what I'm trying to say there. Yeah, it's got a smoothness to it, but it's also got a nice driving, rocky vibe to it. It's got that atmosphericness to it. The vocals with a layering on it adds width and depth as well, so it's quite big music even though it's not super pumping, you know? It's quite smooth. Yeah, and then when the cymbals get going, there's a lot going on. Strong vocals. Yeah, there's loads going on in this. Some are always catching your ear. The drums, it's doing a lot of fills. Then the guitar catches your ear. Then the vocals catch your ear. Now the bass isn't super prominent in the mix. You can hear the bass though, but it's more of a supportive bass than it got its own tone in the mix. Loads of changes. But they're all rolling one into the next nicely, it doesn't feel forced. Sometimes when you've got this many changes, it just feels like you just change for the sake of it, but this is moving nicely from one riff and one vibe to the next. Nice. Good ride sound as well. The cymbals sound very nice on this kit, and the drums. Yeah, you can hear the bass in the mix, but I would have said they could have got away with a little bit more volume on the bass just to bring out the low end a bit more. Let it cut through the mix a little bit. Yeah, great drum sound. Very nice. These guys are quite progressive with the sound, with the vocal as well. Loads going on in the vocal. Wow. Well, we had all sorts going on in that track. always something to listen to, always something catching your ear. The drumming was sick, loads of fills on the toms, but the drums as well sounded great in the mix. And as I say, 1 minute you were catching the drum fill, then you were back on the guitar, then the vocals changed, so you thought, oh, there's a vocal change, and then the vocals changed again. There was loads going on in the vocals. So yeah, very, very nice, interesting music. Yeah, I should have probably put that on yesterday with the experimental stuff, because that's pretty experimental in my opinion. It's got aspects that you recognize, but you never knew what was going to come next in that track. Very, very cool. Right, we'll move on to the next ones. I think this band's called D.I.G, D.I.G, and this one's called In the Blink of an Eye. Let's see what they're all about. Now that's some bass. Much louder mix on this one, in your face more. That bass sits in the mix very nicely. It's loud, you can hear it, but it's not overpowering the guitars. Yeah. Vocal sits in the mix pretty nicely. It's quite loud though, the vocal is. Yeah, that bass sounds great. Nice drum sound. He's got a big kit there as well. That's a very nice bass guitar as well. These guys have got some good gear on them. Now I think these next two bands we've got are Swedish bands, and you can hear that kind of Euro Nordic vibe to it. It's always hard to describe what that is, but you always know when you hear it. Yeah, I think with the vocal has got a lot of volume, but instead of that they could have done a bit more vocal layering, because I'm thinking there's only one vocal layer in there, and if they'd double tracked it, it would have just sounded a bit thicker and a bit wider. That's just something to think about, because everything else sounds nice in the mix. The bass sounds great, the guitar sounds good, the drums sound great as well. Yeah. Got a nice low end to it. And they've done a bit of extra vocal there. Oh, there is vocal doubling in there actually. I can hear it a bit. I think what it is it's... Yeah, I think one's just a bit more quiet than the other. Maybe could have just saturated it up a bit just to give it a different tone. To the main vocal, just maybe give it a bit more low end, because it's kind of high pitched in the range. Nice. All the instruments sound great in this band. You can hear all the aspects of the drums and the cymbals. They've done a good job recording that. It sits nice and prominent in the mix, but it's not clashing with the bass, and the guitars aren't clashing with the bass either. Yeah, it sounds good. Bass sounds great. Nice. There are a few changes in here. Nice. I think my only comment on that in terms of, you know, how to take it to the next level, if my opinion matters at all on that, would be the vocal. The music in this band sounded absolutely great. The bass and the drums sounded absolutely great. I thought the guitar tone was nice. In terms of the guitar volume, that because the bass and the drum were really quite loud, I think you could have probably put a bit more volume on the on the guitars there, just to thicken it up even more. But then you'd be moving into heavy metal territory. I think these guys are kind of heavy rock, but if you put a bit more distortion, a bit more volume on those guitars, I think they're going to be, you know, dipping their toes into heavy metal there. But yeah, in terms of the vocal, I think it was maybe, it just wasn't thick enough to fit in with the rest of the music, because the music was nice and thick, big drums, big bass, big guitar, but the way that they'd put the vocal into the mix, it just didn't have the width and the thickness and the weight of the rest of the music, you know. So that's just something to think about. How you, if you even want to, you know, think about it. If you're super happy with the way that sounds, you know, just ignore me, because this is just one opinion. But if you'd handed me that mix and you said to me, look, you know, we want to sound as big as possible, we want to sound as heavy as possible, and in your face, because everything else is pretty in your face, I'd have probably just dirtied up the vocal a bit more. That would have been what I would have done with it. Very nice track, good high quality band. I'd say I think these next two bands are out of Sweden, so yeah. Good. We've had a good few bands out of Sweden now, and they've got some good high quality musicians up there. Right, this last band now is called, and they're from Sweden, because it says that the band Mile from Sweden. And this one's called Dressed in Black. So let's check this one out. I think these guys are a bit heavier than the last band. Actual metal. Yeah. Oh, that's a big mix. Yeah. You do not know why we should care. Tight guitar tone, big drum sound, big vocal on this one as well. Super thick, chunky guitars. That's a hell of a guitar tone. Not super bassy though, I would say. They've let the guitars do all the work, but they could have cranked the bass up. He's got a nice bass as well, look at him. You know, give him a few more decibels, bring out that low end a bit more. Wow, they've got a big sound though, these guys. Those guitars are so thick. Good energy. Big. Yeah. Those guitars, are so thick. They got such a tight but dense tone. The vocal sits nicely in the mix on this one. It's powerful vocal. They've got the good vocal layering on it. It sounds nice and thick, sounds nice and wide, fills the whole of the sound. The drums sound good as well. Everything sounds good in the mix on this one. I say, we just crank the bass up to give it even more low end. Because those guitars are so thick, but they're not actually super low endy. Yeah. These guys all look pretty ripped as well. You wouldn't want to bump into them and knock their spill over their beer. Heavy. Nice. Yeah. That sounds good. Nice. These guys have got a big sound. that was heavy. And not just heavy because of the riffage and stuff like that, but because it was such a big, weighty sound. The guitars in this band were some of the thickest guitars we've ever had on the channel, in my opinion. The denseness of that tone, and not not because it had been compressed or anything like that too much. It just sounded thick and dense. And just filled that range just like a solid block. Now you could hear the bass in there, but because those guitars were such a solid block, the bass could have done with a bit more volume, in my opinion, just to compensate for that, because we had the two guitarists in this band. So yeah, they probably could have done with the two bassists just to kind of fill out that sound. But man, these guys went big and heavy. Now, I wouldn't say that these guys were hard rock. I'd say that the vocal there was a bit more hard rocky and heavy metal. But yeah, these guys are definitely melodic, that kind of Swedish melodic, Nordic heavy metal. You can tell it's that. And as I say, I couldn't describe what it is necessarily that means that I can tell it's that, or I can tell Japanese music's that, or I can tell British music's that, or American. You can just tell. It's just one of those subtle things. And these last two bands, you could tell that they were Nordic bands, but the Nordic guys, they've got a darkness to them, they've got a heaviness to them. It's probably just being in the cold and the dark all the time, but all the death and all the kind of nasty black and stuff comes out of these countries as well. So yeah, they got some kind of heaviness to their bones over there. I think it comes from the cold, I think. Anyway, stop going on about that. 3 super nice bands today, I think you'll agree. All super high quality as well. Very nice mixes. Few couple of tweaks here and there. And these, I would have had absolutely no complaints whatsoever. And I'm really just nitpicking on the things that I do pick up on, just so I've got something to talk about. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. We'll have something different for you tomorrow. I think it's going to be punk tomorrow now. We haven't had punk this week. And we've had lots of heavy music, so we're going to have some punk and get a bit of oi vibe going. So hope you enjoy that, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.